everybody, it's Miss Molly from the Roy Hyatt Environmental Center. Welcome back. Did you know plants are alive? Well, let's discuss how they work. They have no brain, they have no arms, they have no legs, they have no muscles. So let's figure out how they work. Now, if you walk over here with me, we notice that I have these green briars. These are smilex vines. We cut these about a week ago, and look at them. We cut them all the way to the ground, and all these green briars have already grown up to my waist. That's crazy. Plants are alive. Plants are living, breathing organisms. But how do you know? What are they doing? They move, they open and close, they digest, they grow. Their stems stretch to reach the sunlight. Flowers bloom. The roots reach deep into the soil. Plants even respond to human touch. Can you see the leaves of this sensitive plant close when they are touched? What do plants need to grow and survive? Water, carbon dioxide, soil, sunlight, and space. How do plants find water? They send their roots on a mission, moving through the soil in search of water and nutrients. Once they find them, they deliver the water and the nutrients up into the plant. So, here are the roots of a plant, and here's another one where you can see the roots with the nodules. Now, why in the world do plants need roots? Well, they need them for two different reasons. First of all, they need them for anchors. Let's think about this. How many of you have ever either seen, been on, or maybe seen on TV, a boat that dropped an anchor? Why in the world does a boat drop an anchor? Well, they drop that anchor so they can stay still. It holds them in place. Well, the roots do the same thing for the plant. Look at this beautiful plant here, this bottle brush. If it didn't have roots and the wind was to start to blow, this guy would fall right over. So the roots help to anchor this plant in place. That keeps it right where it needs to be. Now, the roots have another big, important job that they have to do. They have to get water and nutrients out of the soil and bring them up into the rest of the plant. Well, when those roots bring it into the plant, the first place it goes is into the stem. Now, are stems important to plants? Well, yes, stems are very important to plants. Stems provide support. They provide support just like our spine provides support for us. It helps to give the plant shape. It helps it to give it its upright appearance, to hold it up. Now there's other things that the stem is important for as well. The stem is also the transportation system. The water and nutrients move through tiny tubes inside the stem, kind of like straws. Those tubes are called xylem and phloem. They deliver water and nutrients to the flower and the leaves. Now, water moves from the stem to the leaf, and this is where the magic occurs. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is how plants make their own food. Now, all the extra water that's in the plant exits the leaf through pores in the backside of the leaf here, and it evaporates into the atmosphere, and it evaporates as water vapor. And you know, that's a gas. So it's now a gas in the atmosphere.
Out here in the atmosphere, we find more stuff that the plant needs in order to make its own food. Carbon dioxide. The plant inhales through the leaves, taking in carbon dioxide. Now, leaves are green, right? Well, most of the year, leaves are green. What's the stuff that makes a leaf green? That stuff is called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is yet another ingredient that the plant needs in order to survive, to make its own food. Now, chlorophyll is very important because chlorophyll, it acts like a solar panel and it collects all of the sun's energy. It collects that sunlight. And that leads us to the last thing that all plants need in order to make their own food. In order to make their own food, plants need sunlight. So they need that sunlight. So now we have all the things that a plant needs in order to make their own food. They need water. They need carbon dioxide. They need chlorophyll. And finally, they need the energy from the sun in order to transform all those other ingredients into that food, that all-important food that the plant needs in order to survive. And that food is a type of sugar called glucose. So we've discussed the basic parts of plants and we've discussed their functions. So we've got the roots. Now the roots anchor the plant. Remember, just like a boat has an anchor or a ship has an anchor, it holds the plant in place. The roots are also very important because the roots bring the water and nutrients out of the soil and up into the plant. We also discussed the stem. The stem's very important. It gives the plant support. Kind of like our backbone or our spine gives us support, it gives the plant its shape or its structure. It may hold it upright or give it that vine the ability to be able to move around. Now we also talked about the leaves. The leaves are very important. That's where photosynthesis takes place. That's where the plant produces its own food. It needs those very important things. It has to have the water that came in from the roots. It's got to have the carbon dioxide that comes in through the air, into the leaves. It has to have the thing that makes the leaf green, the chlorophyll. That's very important as well. Those three ingredients also need the sunlight. Now remember, that chlorophyll, it's kind of like a solar panel. It is what actually absorbs that sunlight. Now the sun is the fourth and final ingredient. It's so important. It's the energy that transformed those other ingredients into that food, that glucose, that type of sugar that the plant needs in order to survive. But wait, we forgot something. We forgot the flower. There's one more part, the flower. Why in the world does a plant need a flower? Well, let's find out. Plants need flowers for many reasons. Well, flowers are beautiful. They're very pretty so that they can attract pollinators. I believe I see a pollinator on one of those flowers now. Pollinators like to go to the flowers, the beautiful flowers, so that they can get nectar. While they're at that flower, the pollinators collect pollen. So the flower is pretty to attract the pollinators. It produces nectar and pollen. Those pollinators get pollen stuck on their legs or on their bodies, and then they fly to another flower. At that next flower, they leave some pollen behind, and pollination takes place. Through this process, flowers will eventually produce seeds. So flowers are pretty to attract pollinators. They make nectar for the pollinators to eat. The pollinators collect the pollen produced by the flowers, and then the flowers make new seeds. So reproduction takes place within the flower. So the flower is very important because without the seeds, we would not have new plants. Without new plants, there would be no oxygen and we wouldn't be able to survive. So flowers are very, very important. Now, did you notice that all these plants that are planted, they're planted with some space between each other? That's because all plants need space in order to survive. Without that space, if they were too close together, the bigger plants would take all the water and nutrients out of the soil. The bigger plants would shade the smaller plants and they would not be able to get that sunlight so they could produce their own food. So space is another one of those basic things that all plants need in order to survive. Remember, they need water, they need sunlight, they need soil, they need space, and they need carbon dioxide. Today we've learned about the 5 things that plants need in order to survive: water, carbon dioxide, sun, soil, and space. We also learned about the parts of a plant and their functions: the root, the stem, the leaf, and the flower. We realized that flowers are important for reproduction, but that's a lesson for next time. Now, my challenge for you today: I want you to go outside. I want you to see if you can find a flowering plant. I want you to tell me the parts of the plant, maybe draw the parts of that plant, and see if you can label all the things the plants need in order to survive. Bye for now. We'll see you next time.